really depends on the early game, but overall, I like Sanguine Draft more.
Sanguine has a lot of CC. Renegades just has damage, I feel like. You know, not a lot of guaranteed beads burners, and sometimes tossing an A number 1.
In we go to game 1 of this best of 5 between Sanguine and the Renegades. It is Dolson, Mifflin, and Doug. Sure, himself and Barracuda. We talked to Barracuda a little bit before the game, and he realizes that a lot of it maybe springs from this duo lane. A lot of people also think that maybe it lands with Lasbra as well. Early chains connect on a Netrioid. It's the double stun from Barracuda, but the first blood is elsewhere. Jake ends up getting the kill, but instead it's Panatom. Looks like over in the mid lane gets the kill onto Venenu. Sanguine kept getting brought up, and maybe for good reason here. Netrioid, though, is going to get pulled in again by Jake. The crystal's there, but not enough. Barracuda snags a kill of his own now 4 minutes in. I can't even get a word in edgewise before Jake is just walking down Netrioid again. The guy to keep your eyes on from the Renegades. Blue buff has respawned for Sanguine. Variety wants to work his way in here. It's an immediate 3 versus 2. A little bit of reinforcements on the backside, though, for Sanguine will even things up. Variety has to dash away. The blue buff gets reset. It's a King Arthur ult that connects onto Variety on the right-hand side. Wrong he's pulled in a couple here. Panatom being burnt away, but the healing, way too much. Shinto rotates from mid, picks up the kill onto Lasbra. Renegades have to turn tail and get on out.
Then now slowed by the Cerberus, which should be able to get out of that situation. The transformation does wear off.
Times more money than I had originally figured we were going into here. Jake, though, wants to keep going. How many times am I going to say that this game? Add one more to the pile. Oh my god, Venenu from half HP. Down goes Panatom. It's the beads and now the transformation.
Nice.
Cavalry charged offensively from Ven, but now Netrioid is joined in the back line of the fight. Lasbra cannot escape, and I'm not sure Jake can either. It's a bit of a slow from Shinto. Around the corner goes Netrioid, and suddenly the Heimdall that was 0-2 has caught back up.
A fast rotation from Heimdall turns that fight around.
Variety half HP. He's got to be careful here. Right back in goes Yarkor. Lasbra over the wall. He's doing good damage, but a on the back end. But right back in we go. A couple of respawns still being waited on, but we're full 5 stack now. Right back by the Gold Fury. Renegades doing way too much damage, and Sanguine, they just can't answer in time. Renegades have pulled off. They're looking for the fight instead. Venenu around the backside grabs the kill onto Shinto. It's a blink away from Rongyu, and that'll save his life. And now maybe the Renegades
start so slightly confident enough to move in towards the Pyro, potentially force a fight, or then immediately go into the fire.
Rongyu wants to open things up with an ultimate onto Venenu. Venenu will burn his beads on the backside to avoid being pulled in. Jake, though, is going to bring Rongyu right back into the fray, but it's Panatom again that finds the first kill. This should be one for Lasbra. In the pit, he gets one. Now Shinto trying to work his way away, but there's too much time from the Renegades. Lasbra, double kill now. Sanguine start to group up, though, and they've returned plenty of damage here. Variety has to dash away. He's about half HP here. Panatom will dash in, get the knock up, and it's a double pin on the backside. Barracuda, both actives down. Netrioid adds another. This is a big time fight for Sanguine. A double for Netrioid as well. Variety, the last surviving member.
Netrioid free cast the entire engagement, and now Pyromancer falls. Fire Giant contested. Variety, no ult and half health, is going to be tough to defend.
Oh, but he wants it. He blinks in, and I don't think he's going to get much for it. The heal won't be enough here. Down goes Variety. Panatom, Yarkor, and crew are going to return back to the FG. It's half HP now. Renegades will rotate in, but I don't think they have the footing to get themselves right back into range. That one wrong. These are all just calculated risks, I suppose. Renegades are going to be a little bit slower in going back, and that means Sanguine can just work their way into this Phoenix. Barracuda, he's alone here. He does not have any of his actives. This Phoenix is just going to go down. Rongyu might fall in tow, but that's probably something Sanguine are A-okay with.
It is, but maybe not the rest of the team fight. Cavalry charge finds Netrioid in the back.
Netrioid solo, but he stayed alive here. No way he survives. Lasbra will finally pick up the kill. The chains from Jake will get beatsed out by Shinto, and there's the Aegis to keep the Merlin alive. Lasbra walks in, but Shinto's got the damage. Variety, he'll get detonated by Yarkor. Jake, the last one alive. Yarkor and Panatom, they're surviving as well. Big fight for Sanguine to blow this game open.
Renegades so slow
one way or another, so maybe now Sanguine start to work on the FG yet again. Yarkor, he's engaged onto Venenu. He's found an exposed mid laner on the right-hand side. Beads laid on. Venenu will transform, dash away. That's the set now. second in this fight. Rongyu has taken half of his health as well. Renegades doing so well in biding their time, but is it enough? Now it's a frenzy from Jake. Jake's got a bunch of them, but he doesn't have the health to survive. Netrioid snags that kill, and the Renegades have to back away.
Yarkor single-handedly decides, I'm sick of this stalemate around the Fire Giant. I'm gonna do it myself, and he does. He burns the beads and ult off the Morgan and sets up for a kill in the 408.
Whoa, here comes Variety though. He's got Netrioid. Netrioid will survive. Rongyu now is gonna try to peel out. Variety pulled back in, but watch out. Barracuda left unchecked. Finishes off the kill, and Lazbra's got another. A Renegade's able to do this. It looks like they might be able to. It's a double for Laz, but Panatom's still in there. There's the stun, and the mantle will save his life a little bit longer. Lazbra gets knocked up, taken down by Shinto. The chaos reigns supreme by the FG. Neither team Dance begins 35 minutes in. Enhanced FG this time around. Every character in the game's got their actives, except for Variety,
Wow.
but Jake, he can pull some in, but yet again the beats will come out, but they have burned him down. Sanguine, they strike pay dirt first in this fight. Now Netrioid sends one flying. Variety out of the fight now. Panatom trying to run away as well, and he'll get the kill onto Variety on the right-hand side. Now it's Lazbra, left running. The beads will prevent him from being pulled back in, but you can't beads out damage. Maybe the mantle will save his life this time. It sure does, but the Renegades, they've lost 3.
Disjointed fight from the Renegades there. Jake
feels
goes
that
in
way.
instantly.
And we join right back in with the eventual deicide for Sanguine and Mifflin. This is a relatively pedestrian Fire Giant.
So long, it feels like it's going to be so much harder.
I don't know, it's gonna be 3 against 5 for the time being until Barracuda can come back in. Jake has taken half of his HP, but the Titan has as well. A few locked in from Sanguine. Jake trying desperately to pull some back in, and he's done it twice, but look at the Titan, no HP left, and Sanguine will walk away with game number 1.
Renegades has more traditional comp, so I'm gonna go lean Renegades way, but obviously Sanguine has the momentum, and maybe they can run with it.
Here in game number 2, still Dolson, still Mifflin, still Doug. And Miff, let's pick up right there. Baron Samdi locked in here for Shinto. A far cry from what we've seen him do on the Merlin. Do you think it has the potential from Lazbra, but maybe we do here over in the solo lane. Lazbra is close by as well. In behind the Netrioid and Rongyu. Crystal used. Good by Netrioid, but Rongyu instead, he gets locked down with the push. Might save his life this time. Damage ticking away, and it's Jake right back in. First blood over to the Renegades.
Fantastic play there. Jake holds it.
He's going to back off, share some of that XP. Panatom maybe thinking he can catch him out when he gets it. He sure does. Knock a pin. Goodbye, Panatom. Reads it perfectly. Then Variety takes a tumble.
Right, maybe 70-30 odds favoring them. And I think Renegades did a fantastic job fighting in.
Well, Jake is going to have to transform here, but he's invited to the party, but he doesn't want to attend. He'll leap away, won't end up getting stunned in. Shinto, no ult now, but he'll get some healing on the backside. Here comes Lazbra, and the damage along with it. He's got one onto Panatom. Shinto left running. Variety, easy as you like there. Dashing away is Venenu, but you can't do that on the Poseidon. Now Yarko will get locked in off to the side as well. Lazbra stunned down. Is that enough for the time being? I think it might be. The spear from the backside gets this King Arthur plenty low, but Rongyu and Yarkor, they live to fight another day.
Renegades with that patented aggressive style. Jake gets caught out ever so slightly, but is able to make it out alive, and then from there, the rest of his team rotates in and turn around.
Everyone will walk away.
Renegades decide to go for that blue buff invade, even though they do have the timer on the red, because it's a much safer engagement. They can stay grouped and work their way towards the red, but Shinto...
Whoa! Whoa, he has no chance! He just gets deleted by the Renegade. Shinto even used his beads there, but there was simply too much, and what a collapse from the Renegades, continuing to punish the immobility. You guess it. There's a blue buff coming back online for Sanguine here, and Renegades want every bit of it. It's going to be a route down onto Variety, and he has taken half of his HP, but he'll heal back up just a little bit here. Yarkor is connected with his ultimate onto Lazbra as well. The cripple field goes down from Venenu, and that'll slow down Sanguine, but not slow enough. It's a double 9 turns blessing for Panatom, and Variety will cavalry charge his way away. He'll stay alive this time. The FG fire pool nearly got it done, but here's the re-engage. Lasbra, he's found Rongyu, and Shinto is the one who ends up getting one. Rongyu survives, the Kraken's not enough. Sanguine, they found 2 kills when the Renegades thought they had maybe won the fight.
Variety took way too much damage from the offset, was forced to retreat, and Sanguine, the second you show weakness, Panatom blinks in and finds himself some kills.
Barracuda gets the stun onto Panatom, just needs a little bit more damage, and you bet he's got it. Down goes the jungler for Sanguine. Barracuda, what a play there. Netroid has some damage, dashes in, and Lasbra lays down on the sword to save the life of his hunter. Rongyu ends up picking up the kill from range. But all the damage is much more impactful in the first 11 minutes of the game. Jake feels like he needs to transform, and he wants to do more. He wants to engage, but how many times have we seen this? There's too much damage from Shinto if he can survive, but he won't be able to do that long enough. Lasbra has now re-engaged again, and it's a 1-for-1 trade out of the mid. Panatom will eat a nice chunk of damage there as well. So far, you lose Shinto if you're
Now's the time to leverage it.
Well, Renegades want to leverage it right now. It's the Fury that's respawned. Jake transforms, jumps on into the back line, and he'll be separator here as the rest of Sanguine are looking at him. Oh my god, the burst! It's there, and Shinto evaporates Jake's health bar. Here comes the Kraken on the back line, but it hasn't done nearly enough, but it has done enough to set up for Lasbra to pull back 1 kill now for the Renegades. The 3 surviving members, the squishiest on the map, now being chased down by Sanguine. There is a little bit of disengagement. There's your re-engage from Sanguine. Aegis used by Venenu. Yarkor has the damage numbers, though. Lasbra, he turns it around yet again. He's made this much more attractive. Barracuda's in it. Barracuda's stunned. Lasbra's got a double. Does he have the damage to make this a big play for the Renegades? He's going to try to chase down Rongyu. The last bit of mana gets used on the retreat. Lasbra trying to turn this fight around is nearly done so, but Yarkor is there for the last bit of peel. What a game this guy's having.
Man, Lasbra is playing so incredibly well there, weaving his way in. Renegades, on the other hand, awesome. Jake's ult's back up. Let's get on that gold.
Netroid to take it away. He sure can't. The Kraken is too good here. The ultimate's going to connect onto Jake, though, and Jake will be left out on island all on his own. This is the sacrifice that the Renegades are willing to take, and now Shinto has evened up his kills and his deaths with 4 of each. Variety's still here. He's going to shred some prots away from Yarkor, but Yarkor instead now wants to engage back onto Variety.
Sanguine now have an advantage moving in towards these more important objectives. It's not going to be the Fire Giant this time, instead the Pyro.
Oh my goodness. Instead of it just being a Pyro for nothing, Lasbra has stuck around on the left lane, and look at where the Oni minions are. This is going to be a great opportunity to knock down this tier 1 tower over and left. Likely didn't need the Oni minions to do it anyway, but now Barracuda has a little in mid, now 1 in left, and kind of stabilizing what otherwise could have been a little bit more lopsided for Sanguine. Rongyu, though, has gone back in here. Be careful.
Wow.
He'll dash away, stay alive. Lasbra over the wall. That's a good kill for you. Kraken onto Shinto, but the Aegis saves his life. Variety in on the cavalry charge. How about that? 9 turns blessing. Thank you very much, though, say the Renegades. Panatom's deleted. Frenzy is popped. Renegades working into the Sanguine base. These next few moments will tell us where their mindset is at. They got a few Oni minions working in. Baron will be good in this spot, where Renegades are going to walk into a lot of the healing. Oh, but look at the engagement from Rongyu, but he's found Jake. Yarkor goes in, gets evaporated by the Kraken. Ultimate connects onto Jake, who has to disengage. Variety's right there with him. Sanguine, they put up a great fight so far on this defense. Renegades limping away from the back line, but they want back in. Sanguine, they're just as low as well. This fight on a knife's edge. Jake, the last one in range. We've seen the Renegades trade out Jake for an objective before, and they'll trade out Jake for an objective again.
Back up, an unfortunate trade.
Oh no, Netroid is left alone here as Venenu baited in the Hunter. That crystal's not taking you far enough, my man. Venenu will die, but you trade out Netroid as well. Barracuda, though. And Sanguine do not have their Hunter, so these objectives will still be easier for the Renegades to attack. Oh no!
Oh, no.
Shinto, what are you doing? He gets stunned down by Barracuda, and Variety is there to finish off the damage. He was looking to about half HP, but Yarkor, he's engaged in the backline. It's a defensive frenzy now that gets used by the Renegades. Kraken finds nothing. Into the back goes Rongyu, but he'll get disengaged away from as well. It's a cavalry charge back in, but look at that from Rongyu. The ultimate's enough to maybe just peel out for the backline. Venenu's finally found one. The crystal away from Netroid will not be in time. No more Hunter, no more support for Sanguine. Renegades full 5. They might look to the end. They might look for the mid lane Phoenix.
Only one member low on the side of Renegades, and it's BRZA. He doesn't need to be in the front line. The mid Phoenix should fall pretty quickly. Renegades have a lot of time to work with, but Shinto still maintains his ultimate. He's going to try his best in the defense.
Here we go. Renegades work their way in. Life of the party pulls in Variety, but look at the damage. My God, the Titans stood no chance. Renegades, no 3-game set today, and Renegades will tie it up.
Play their game, spool up a gold lead, get some gold freeze under their belt. I think they also have a really good chance to win because they have that Fire Giant burn. So
The ability to run it.
In a draft where the Renegades have kept a lot of the core of what worked in Game 2. Still the Guan Yu, still the Set, still the Hachiman. Poseidon is there. Jake, though, will pivot over to the Ymir. And one of the things, Lasbro in range to help farm out some minions here in the mid. Panatom now makes his way to the solo lane. Variety gets taunted in. Look at the damage! And Panatom picks up first blood. That is so
Would have been
simple.
rotating in at a disadvantage. A nice calculated play from Sanguine off the back of some early aggression.
And it's the Arc Warriors still doing a lot of damage. Whoa! Now it's Panatom over here on the left side of the map. Jake is just going to try to slow down Panatom, but Panatom leaps away, finds Barracuda, has his ult, might have the damage for the second kill of the game. Panatom's got it. This jungler is all over the place, and Sanguine rocket out to a 3 for Panatom on the Circuit. The build will be interesting to follow. Jake, though, not slowed down, is going to try to stun out onto Shinto. The beads are going to get used, but Lasbro's here as well. Certainly tough. You want a Raw dead. And they're going to end up going down if you expend enough resources. So Renegades able to
timers, so they can look for an invade in the future. But with Ra's beads being down, Shinto's going to have to play very safe.
Panatom finds Jake lurking in the jungle. Here is Rongyu as well, has the dash, has the stun, and then it's a push on back from Panatom. The detonation will not be enough. Panatom hands another kill over to another teammate.
The majority of his game just farming up the jungle, waiting for these power spikes, waiting till he can finish off this mace.
Netrioid, what are you doing here, my friend? Oh, the knockback from Venenu. What a play, and the crystal would have sent him 5 feet to the right, and death would have been waiting there anyway. Venenu, Jake rode into him as he works back in. Both hunters are on the opposite side of the lane from where they would prefer to be, but Barracuda will survive for the time being. Netrioid a little bit quicker here, it appears. Netrioid has the completed boots, but Shinto's there, downtown, snipe connects. That all set up by Netrioid.
His team is going to rise as Panatom a little bit caught out here.
Panatom has to dash away, but here comes Rongyu to the skies, lands down, but it's only Rongyu on the other end. Lasbro has taken way too much damage to fight any further. Yarkor picks up the kill there. It's a Kraken to separate out, but Venenu immediately has to leave. On the back end, he's going to try to re-engage. Yarkor's ultimate times out, and Variety looks like he'll survive for the time being until Yarkor moves back in. The blink, it's available, and Yarkor uses it. Big fight now for Sanguine. 3 members down for the Renegades. Sanguine lose no one. Panatom is doing so well, but makes it kind of doubly impactful that Lasbro hasn't been able to find anything on the other side throughout this game outside of 1 assist. Look at Yarkor, look what he's doing here. He's just going to walk on into the back to the skies, right into the Kraken though. Some counterplay there from Venenu. Is it enough? For the time being, no it's not. But Lasbro does turn around to kill. Hey, we say his name, he's got a double. Sanguine, they're not running away with this game just yet. Best fight of the game so far for the Renegades. Blink away from Rongyu will keep things from getting worse.
Fantastic Kraken for Ben to stop all of the aggression. Yarkor dives too deep and he loses his life for it. Now Lasbro deep in the back line. Fantastic! Whoa!
Oh, the wall locks in too, but the dash away from everyone on Sanguine will keep at least 2 members alive. Rongyu will survive. Is at the time being. We'll see if Rongyu has anything to say about it. He does not. Now he's actually a bit caught out. A nice double knock-up on the backside. Jake will separate out this fight. Push away is Panatom onto Jake, but then Jake right back into the damage from Shinto. It's Pyromancer for Jake, an objective for support. That's a trade the Renegades consistently have been happy with taking, and it looks like the disengage will be there. Renegades do know that this is going on here. Can they say anything about it is another question. Jake is alone, and the Primal Fury is down to about 5% of its remaining health. Jake has taken a lot of damage here. The wall off of cooldown. Panatom is there with his ultimate. Jake detonates. Oh, the freeze on the Panatom Kraken there! They've kept Panatom in the fight longer than he had hoped for. Shinto sends out the ultimate as well, but won't find the snipe for it. Jake is down, but so is Panatom. That's a trade the Renegades probably happy to take. Variety alone with Netrioid, and Netrioid will benefit to the tune of a kill. Now Shinto rejoins the fight. big turnaround from Sanguine in a fight that it looked like they were losing, and instead they find a 3-for-1 in the Fury.
Variety, a little bit overzealous, thinks he can win a fight against an ADC inside his own tier 2 tower. Netroid doesn't think so. Picks up
And Shinto has started to kind of grow up some of that lead there as well that he may have fallen behind a little bit early on. Panatom, though, is going to engage. Yarkor does as well. Jake walls himself off. He's alone in the back of the mid camps here. Is he going to walk away from this one? Netroid is going to say no way to that one, but Yarkor's the one who ends up getting the kill here. Variety is stunned down, but he's trapped in with everyone on Sanguine. The Cthulhu asserting his dominance. The snipe is not enough, but Variety, Netroid, all the kills are happening elsewhere. Netroid with 2. Lasbra over the wall. Panatom in on the chase. Rongyu has the stun down. Sanguine, they find a big fight. 4-for-1 for Sanguine, and they turn to the Fire Giant.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Panatom goes in and just creates space. He walked into just perspective on the entirety of the match. Dashes in, goes into the Descent into Madness, becomes this paragon of pressure.
Whoa. Well, one way to deal with that pressure is to kill off the Cthulhu, but they haven't been able to do it quick enough. Yarkor's still alive. Barracuda has something to say about it, but has he bought enough time for Sanguine to win the fight anyway? For the time being, we're even. Rongyu's alone in the backline. Barracuda has to use both of his actives. Big freeze from Jake, but the re-engage, look at Rongyu. He's brought everyone in behind the Renegades. Jake can only do so much on the front line if Rongyu's gonna bring him right on into the back. Sanguine, they win another big one, 3-for-1.
Man, Renegades need to take these fights on even ground. You can't run away from a Horus comp. We saw what happens when you try. Now Jake, suffering the consequences, is going to make it out of this one alive. Sanguine have so much time now to work their way through the map.
Oh, the wall separates things, but just buying himself some time, it becomes a...
Survives with 20% health and gets huge value out of his ultimate anyway. So what happens when you don't have perfect setup?
Poor Yarkor got caught on the wall, but I'm not sure he cares. He's still in the back line doing exactly what he wants to do. Lasbra's doing the same as well. Shinto has stayed alive for the time being, and it's actually Sanguine on a bit of a disengage here. Yarkor has taken half of his health and damage. Here comes Lasbra. Re-engage once more. Big knock-up, though, from Yarkor, who's left alone with the Renegades. Now Panatom has to dash away. Oh, Lasbra's read it, but doesn't have enough damage to get the kill. This is the best Renegades have looked in the last few minutes. Jake still has his ult, but that's not gonna help close this gap. Sanguine are gonna have to retreat, and they might have the legs to do it.
It's a dangerous chase. If anyone gets caught out, they could instantly lose out on their lives. Wall's not quite finding their way home. And Renegades is there first.
And you're kidding me. The Renegades are the ones who might be favored now in this fight after everything we've said, and it could get worse as Shinto is now caught out. Renegades have a 5 versus 3 around this Fire Giant, but they have half of their health missing. Titan under attack. That's the Renegades base. Blaring those sirens. Panatom leaps in and finds only death awaiting for him. This is maybe just to delay Renegades from getting back to base. How much can the last 2 members of Sanguine do here? Not much is the answer. Netroid dies, but Rongyu gets the kill over onto Lasbra. Body blocks off to the side will delay Rongyu's escape and likely put him in the ground. Yarkor is now respawned. I have no idea what's going on in this game anymore. It looks like Sanguine are on easy street to take the win, and then the Renegades find a big base defense, and now another pick onto Yarkor. Yarkor walks his way in alone, and Renegades are happy on this left side Phoenix. You know the Renegades are going to be fishing for it, but Sanguine are not going to give him the chance. It's the 2-man dive into the back line. Yarkor leading the charge. Kraken there to divide. Panatom, he's right back in. He's used his ult. Shinto's connected, but Anu down. Will not participate any further in this fight, but you can say the same for Yarkor as Lasbra has closed the gap on the Renegades frontliner. Still more fighting maybe to be had here. Rongyu jumping away. Jake, he does it again. Walls back Rongyu, freezes him there, but there's not enough damage to get the kill on the Horus for the time being. Some sustain from Shinto, maybe keep Sanguine right where they're at in this fight. Just need a little bit more damage now if you're the Renegades. Rongyu dashes in, knocks up Jake. Taunt back in from Panatom, but the Phoenix falls and Renegades back away.
4 members. Jake still has ultimate, and they're all relatively healthy. Mid-Phoenix exposed, they're moving in.
25 seconds on Yarkor. Variety doesn't want to wait that long. He goes into the back. Look at the ultimate from Jake. It's separated this fight, but Panatom will find his way around it anyway. Barracuda is evaporated. A wall up off to the side. Lasbra left alone here as well. And Sanguine are just going to try to chase down Variety here at this point. Looks like with the immediate CC, they'll be able to do so. Hey, that's a nice mantle stun, but it won't save your life, Variety. But I'm thinking the Renegades are on easy street. Everything I thought this game has been wrong. Now Sanguine maybe feeling comfortable working their way into the Renegades base. Can Jake do enough? Can Jake slow down the engage from Sanguine? Here comes Rongyu in onto the Titan. Go Sanguine, big time Kraken from Venenu. They're not doing enough damage to the Titan. Venenu's found one. It's Panatom who's now down. Jake has to go back into the fountain. Titan, it's so low here. Sanguine just need a little bit more damage. But Venenu, BRZA, they've gone big. Shinto works back in. It's a double kill. Titan lives on. Triple for BRZA. Renegades alive. 100 HP on the Titan. Deicide for Renegades. Down the mid lane they go. I'm thinking they're going to win this thing 20 minutes ago, and now the minions are just going to get it done. You have got to be kidding me. The Renegades find a way to stay alive again. And now they push themselves one game away from the semifinal.
What do you think here, Snoopy? You think we're going to a Game 5, or do you think Renegades gets the 3-1?
Ooh, looking at the comps, I think with the momentum that Renegades has, I think it's going to be a 3-1 Renegades.
It's looking like it could be the case. This team...
Wild how that works, isn't it? Where a game is so close. We're talking 100 HP on a Titan, but the momentum swing is that much further, it feels like. I mean, Miff, you gotta know. Looks like they're certainly going to win, then we're back and forth a few more times. These two teams very closely paced. Good call there, Miff. Panatom invading in on the blue buff, but Venenu is here. Shinto is as well. Panatom eating a lot of damage. Pin doesn't do exactly what Panatom was hoping for. Double stun from Variety. And Renegades have done a good bit of damage. They've taken a lot in return, though, as well. More fighting over in duo. Barracuda's got the double tap for the stun. Jake, swing your club, man. You just need a little bit more. Misses the damage on the back end as the detonate there. Barracuda gets the kill at the end of the day. What a wall from Jake. And Renegades will capitalize for first blood.
Blue buff because Rongyu is slightly late on the rotation. They steal away the blue and immediately disengage. It does cost Ven his ult, though.
Lasbra taunts back in Yarkor. The beads will keep him alive, but how much longer? Variety has his ultimate, but the DOT from Lasbra is there, and Variety, hey, having your execute will sure help you get out of Rongyu's ultimate, who rotated over towards solo as well.
Ram is one of the best late game hunters in the game. Shinto has some of the best scaling on a mid laner as well. But already Renegades are establishing that lead, that crippling lead that they were able to do in Game 3 is here again. Now 2,000, and they're continually finding pressure in the jungle.
Hey, there's a blue buff. Let's invade it, says the Renegades, and there's an execute for Variety. Venenu there with the Kraken. Renegades playing lights out at the moment. The 9 turns blessing will be good onto Variety, but Panatom doesn't want to pull any more pressure over towards himself. It's a numbers advantage on this side of the map for the Renegades, and a blue buff drops down as well. That one now a dive from Lasbra before I hand things back over to you, but instead it looks like just the purple buff gets invaded. The Pyromancer started up as well.
Hold on.
Close by. Renegades take down the Pyro. Will Variety escape again? The body blocks in from Venenu, and Variety will blink right on out. Jake being chased down by Yarkor from range. Shinto hits the damage, so at least Sanguine are finally able to pull back a kill. Just a moment ago,
Renegades comes on.
Sanguine make a solo lane gank work. Not for the time being. Now Sanguine want to invade a blue buff of their own. They have enough damage to do it quickly. Variety walks face first into this one. Tanking up a good bit of damage here. Stays alive.
Nice.
Variety is baiting for the rest of the Renegades to get on in. Jake has separated out Shinto from the rest of this fight. Good healing numbers from the Hell will give Sanguine a chance to move back in. Variety gets pulled back in by Panatom. The Kraken not enough to disengage this fight. Lasbra walking back in as well. Yarkor in there onto the ultimate, but Lasbra will dash away. Panatom quite low against Jake as well. And that's a 1-kill swing right back to
Renegades listening to our comms, hearing you call it out, do pull the Gold Fury, but Sanguine spotted out, and that's enough to deter him from going in.
Panatom, will the Kraken gobble him up?
Rip.
It sure will. Before my very eyes, Panatom ceased to exist. That one brought to you by Venenu. Do more. Shinto has been chunking throughout the early part of this game. Pyromancer now the objective both teams looking towards. Renegades have been happy to just trade out Jake for one of those objectives time and time again. It's a blink in and then a root from Panatom, but won't result in the kill just yet. Ven has to burn his Aegis. He is now out of this fight. Yarkor engages on the front line. The pull back in from Rongyu, just awaiting in the wings. Execute from Variety. He weaves it around the side, hits Yarkor, gets a kill now for the Renegades in this fight. It's a double stun on the backside now. Panatom left alone with the rest of the Renegades. But it looks like a 1 for none is maybe where we stand. Awesome Jake, though. Big time wall keeps Shinto and Netrioid right where they stand. Panatom back in the back line. Shinto's gotten one, Lasbro with another. Variety unable to fully peel out the rest of this fight. He may end up going down. Shinto with the double. Sanguine, I'm not sure how they win that one, but they come out a kill ahead.
The follow-up was so late from that wall, man. Jake clearly maxing it. That was the full duration, but it wasn't enough time for Renegades to reposition around it. And then from there, we saw Panatom. My man hasn't died, and I don't foresee it happening anytime soon.
No, it doesn't seem that way. He's been playing safe enough, and hell is safe enough to stay alive through a lot of it. Renegades are now going to send 4 over here to solo. Wrongu blinks in. Beads used by Barracuda. Are the snipes going to be enough from Netrioid? Not this time, as Barracuda walks away with his ultimate. Jake channels his, but it's getting pulled back in now by Panatom. Look at the dive from Yarkor, looking for Barracuda on the backside. Jake is forfeit here, but the re-engage from Yarkor onto the front line of the Renegades might be enough. Lasbra thinking about it, but this fight...
Have any vision either. They're going to have to hover around and make sure that this Primal Fury doesn't go down for free. If the rest of Renegades want to, they can group up on the Fire Giant side and force Sanguine to make a decision.
Yarkor gets walled off a bit here from the rest of his team. Shinto unable to squeeze through the small gap there. The dive into the back will not work this time. Yarkor spinning away, but gets taken down by Venenu at the end of the day. Awesome Jake will throw up his wall here, but he's been locked in by Ronyu. The crack in there for a little bit of peel at the end. Jake stays alive. Thank you very much, Venenu, for finalizing the peel there. Now Panatom is going to try to engage, but instead it's actually disengaged to bring him away. The Renegades are low, but they've got all 5.
Jake is so good.
Ahead.
That's the best I can say.
Yep, gap closed in the relic department. These two teams continue to kind of poke and prod at the Fire Giant. It'll be enhanced in a moment. Jake traps in 2 more. This time,
he's so
only good enough to keep Panatom where he's at, and Rongyu will survive here. Yarkor around to the side. He's going to look at Jake. Maybe you can deal with the Ymir. You don't have to worry about the rest. Renegades caught a bit out here. They're all retreating. Rongyu does not have his ultimate. Jake channeling his, detonates it early. Panatom pulls 2 back in. Variety execute back into range, waiting for Netrioid to drop down. Just a bit of mistiming there. Netrioid uses the Aegis. To the back of the fight he goes. Jake unable to survive this time. Variety way too low. The pin is there. Yarkor gets the kill. Barracuda and Venenu on the left, but Venenu dies off. It's a double kill for Shinto. Yarkor and Panatom are going to end up chasing down Lasbra at the end. Shinto has 3. Yarkor has a couple. It's a deicide for Sanguine. 30 minutes in.
An enhanced Fire Giant should go their way as well, man. When one player's doing everything, you gotta shut them down. For Renegades, it's Jake. For Sanguine, it's Shinto, and only one of them tasted dirt in that engagement. Unfortunately for Renegades fans, it was them. 3 members strong on the side of Sanguine, and they should be able to at least get Fire Giant onto Rongyu if they choose. With Hell healing, they might even wait it out for Netrioid as well. That's going to be a huge swing, and now we have to worry about how well a Renegade's going to be able to defend and whether or not they want to defend on these tier 2s. I'm not sure that they will, but with Jake playing as well as he has, maybe a couple of walls are all it's going to take to separate them from turning this game back around.
Sanguine will get this FG buff on a Netrioid. That is massive, a huge difference. I mean, arguably the most important person to have it on as far as sieging down these bases. Full 5 being worked away by Lasbra rather, and Lasbra will end up picking it up. Jake, of course, will hit the freeze. That's about as easy as it gets there on that one, but now he's got to decide which part of this fight do you want to participate in. He's going to peel out for his Hunter as Yarkor was looking towards him. Both BRZA has to use his beads, and Jake has to use his ultimate to stay alive from the Stygian Torment. Wall goes up, separates out the fight a little bit further. Jake may end up going down here, and Shinto snipes him down. 7-0 out of the mid lane for Shinto on this hill. Sanguine now in a position to push the advantage.
And that's a huge advantage. 50 seconds left on the support from Renegades, the only one finding proactive plays. And again, that's an engagement where it looks like Renegades want to fight. They're grouped up in the jungle around Gold Fury, and Jake freezes one, burns the beads off of Yarkor, and then walls off the hell completely isolated, but there's no follow-up. Unfortunately,
Lasbra's going to whittle away at that fire minion wave in the mid lane, so maybe here's where Sanguine starts to go in. Barracuda 20 seconds away from his bead, so that's something Rongyu will look to take advantage of. Rongyu has not found BRZA, but Jake is waiting in the wings. Yarkor will find the ult. Rongyu has the damage. Jake goes down for the first time in this fight yet again. Variety has to ult away, and now it's Sanguine on the chase. Burn away, Variety. Panatom will pick up the kill. Decent cracking around the wall will knock up 2. Sanguine living to fight another day, though. They're all at half HP. Renegades maybe a chance to collapse in around either side. Netrioid looking for some snipes here. Renegades, they're going for it. Venenu's got one. Barracuda goes down in response. Lasbra has one as well. Can he get another? Venenu with a double kill. Venenu has three. Netrioid, the quad, it's around the corner. He doesn't have the legwork. Renegades, they take a suicidal fight. Easy to forget in a game as close as this that it's the Renegades who have that Fire Giant buff that's kind of closing the gap from what you see on the scoreboard up there. Instead, it's now Jake who wants to waltz into the Sanguine base. He's taken half of his HP. Netrioid on the back line has as well. Wrong you gets deleted by Venenu. Jake channeling his ult. All the CC on the back line, but look at Netrioid. He's living this entire time. Shinto falls. Netrioid left running. Aegis channeled now. Can he escape from Lasbra? He sure can't. It's a double kill for Lasbra. Panatom, the last one in. The death timers are too long. Renegades, are you kidding me? They're going to walk into the Sanguine base. They'll take this one in 4. We'll see the Renegades in the semifinals.
A decisive end and an upset on the first day of playoffs.